Yeah, because I've definitely noticed ever since you left the company I'm at now, and now the new company that you were at, a change in your spirit.
Oh, thought you were gonna tell me how the old place is crumbling. Um,
No, we're doing great.
yeah, no, it's hey, just skyrocketing ever since I left.
Ever since you left, it's just shooting up.
And we're live. So recently, my job took a turn, and I got an unexpected HR call through Teams, and essentially, and it was on my day off, and essentially they said I no longer have a job there. So I'm still technically working for 2 months, basically getting paid for 2 months, and then after that I get a severance for a month. Um, but it definitely came out of nowhere. I just left a job that I was, doing a lot at, and kind of made a jump up to this next position. Really looking for the growth role kind of a thing, and was really putting everything into this job. And then all of a sudden, feels like the rug got pulled from under me. I was there like 4 months, and never would have expected something like this. And it really made me think. There's people that this has happened to. They've been there, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then just out of nowhere, bam, goodbye. Um, so I think that's going to be our topic for the day, and we'll go through our experiences, and maybe we'll ask the audience, if they can comment, what kind of scenarios they might have run into uh, in their careers that just kind of came out of nowhere. So yeah, so I now don't have a job, which it is what it is. We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling. It's like you get completely sidelined. Like you're making sure things are going good. You're giving it your all. You're putting your neck out there for others. To develop as well, and then bam, this hit me. So have this happened to you in the past?
Well, I've never been laid off, but I've been with the company that I saw it's gonna happen, and then like I don't know, 3 months after I left, they went bankrupt. So, but with your experience, did you see this coming, or was this a surprise? Did they lay off the whole factory? Like, what happened?
No, definitely didn't see it coming. And I'm still under like a disclosure thing, so I can't really say anything specific to the company. But
Mm-hmm.
um, essentially, there's another factory that they're shutting down, kind of a thing, and that's not in the same city that I'm in. And I think what's going on, because the timing really works, is anybody that's still with the company when they shut that one down would be moving to where I was working, and then those people assume the rules essentially. So I think that's what's going on. But yeah, no, definitely didn't see it coming, and I just this feeling that I have, it's a very weird feeling to have, knowing that you're putting a lot into the position, and then all of a sudden you're just tossed to the curb, kind of a thing. So I've figured, the different roles out there, people with different lifetimes at their careers. I can't even imagine being somewhere for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Like, just feel like you're, you put your life into a company, and then they just toss you to the curb.
So, how do you know this is a layoff and not you're fired?
Because they said,
So, is there? Do you know if there's other people who got laid off?
yeah, I probably shouldn't say numbers, but there's definitely a lot. Um, and there's people that I know of that, helped build the place, like from construction finish to building the lines, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and training, new supervisors, that kind of stuff, to
Mm-hmm.
other mid-level like management. But yeah, no, I mean I've been fired. I've been laid off due to no work, right? I think anybody like blue collar or anybody that's worked in trade, they're definitely used to a potential of no work or maybe seasonal if you're more in like a factory setting. But
Yeah.
yeah, just, you know, goodbye, we don't need you anymore. No discussion, no whatever. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely new for me. So
Yeah. So the company I was working at is Katera, and basically I was like the first, me and one other guy were the first employees to hit the factory floor, and like literally like so they hired me for a machine operator position, and as we were walking the floor the first day, they were still like building the roof of the building. Huge plant, like I'm talking like Amazon huge. And the technology is like technology I've never seen before. It's all like basically the whole factory's robotic. What they did was is what we did was basically construction for like mass buildings and apartment complexes, but like they put it up by like Lego, so they had like a wall line, window line. It was crazy, like how it all come together. Then the way it would go, you load it on the truck, and they take it off the truck, and it like literally go up with Lego. Like we could, there was a job we had like where we could build up like a whole apartment complex in like 48 hours. It was crazy, like how. But like you think like the company would be super successful, but there was a clash between like common sense and like and engineering, like with how like to put things together. And like the company was backed by SoftBank, like it's like one of the biggest banks in the world. So they had all the funding. It was like all the money was there, but they didn't. Like I don't know who was like doing the who planned this whole like Katera, but like it was a bad planning because like there's a lot of times we were just standing there, we didn't have work.
so okay, so you're saying like scheduling for
There's
production.
yeah, like we just ran out of work, and then like dude, it got crazy. Like it got so bad too, like because the company was so new,
Yeah.
a new factory. Like we had people like when they started hiring more people, they're like, well, this is like we should be the union. We're construction workers, second because this falls under construction. So they like you had people like guys like coming in with union shirts. Like it was crazy, dude. Like I saw like I was only there for like a year.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Like I saw crazy things there, and then it was like crazy too because like it was a brand new company, brand new factory, and obviously like what's the first thing you're trying to do is trying to make money, and like we would get free lunch. We had a cafeteria with free like literally every day free lunch. So like all right, like either these guys are super confident what they're doing or like they don't know what they're doing, and clearly like they went bankrupt.
I mean, if a company is making such a good profit margin that they are able to, you know, treat their employees at least right, if not good,
Yeah.
you know, that's definitely nice. I mean, where I was just working, I mean, there's definitely incentive to boost morale in different ways, and the company definitely shelled out some money pretty much without asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so you know, you're talking about decision making for the planning of the company. Um, I think this is the second company that I've really been at where it's just you can see kind of the economy grab it and people from the top down just start to spiral and make decisions that generally are disconnected from the actual floor or the working environment where the stuff is made. So, you know, people make decisions where that sounds good on paper, but then in all practicality, like it's awful, right? And then you have waste of motion, waste of production or product material, standing around like you're saying. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you know, from mid to upper management levels and corporate, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people are making those decisions that just they're trying to get buy-in for how to fix the company
Mm-hmm.
and trying to save their ass, trying to, you know, wow over the stakeholders, and they don't actually know what they're doing. And it's literally causing companies to, you know, either be hurt financially or even go bankrupt. You know, I know the company that you and I were working at,
Mm-hmm.
there's things that I saw there that just, you know, certain things just did not make sense. And then there's people that might have been there for a long time making calls that just really, it's off the hip, but not a lot of like logic backing it. Just, oh no, it'll work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of downtime and all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was younger, I got fired from a couple different positions, and I was young and dumb. Right now, I'm just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, back in those days, I did wild stuff that it was amazing that I had a job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, now, man, like I put like everything into it, or at least I think I am, most of the time, and then it's just bam, just sidelined.
So
So
how is this gonna affect your future job? Like, are you gonna try to? Because are you saying like you think you got laid off because of the economy, or like you think it's something just the
so when I got hired with the company, I knew that there were other locations. It wasn't until after I was hired that I learned that one of the locations was basically being liquidated, and some people might be coming here, and then they say everybody else there was going to lose their job. And I
mm,
started to see people that are remote workers come in, and they're shifting around the office, and there's just a lot of changes, right? And then um, yeah, then this happened. Then I started thinking about everything and the timing with my financial stuff with the company, and then the timing of when the other factory is going to shut down. It basically lines up. So
so do all the other companies in the U.S. or are they outside the U.S.?
the other factories in the U.S., then they have a couple um, in other countries.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, and
So well, it sounds like they're big enough to withstand the economy if it's going downhill type thing.
so they're part of a conglomerate, which again I can't get into specifics, but
Yeah.
the parent company is definitely doing good. Um, yeah, putting things together and like the timeline together, I would be very surprised if they didn't hire me, and like they're hiring other same level positions. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just got done training somebody a couple weeks ago. Like
Mm-hmm.
um, they're still hiring, and knowing that they're going to be laying all these people off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they knew that they were going to let me go as they were hiring me, which is really, I know a business is a business, right? Like it comes down to bottom dollar. You got to get,
Yeah.
everything taken care of, keep those shareholders taken care of. But like,
Mm.
it really sucks. Like down to the human level. Like I'm not going to sit here and pout. Like I'm going to, take the next steps, do whatever is next in my life. But like,
Yeah.
it fucking sucks,
Yeah.
you know?
What? So was this company open to the stock market or were they private? Do you know?
Um, I think it's stock market potentially.
So it's more
Yeah, I don't know. I really didn't
fluctuates.
look. I didn't really look into it too. I was
Mm.
just more worried about me doing a good job there than
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Got my 401k set up. Got my direct deposit
Yeah.
set up. Off I go.
So for the listeners, Sean needs a job.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, if anybody has anything, let me know.
He's willing to do whatever it
Yeah,
takes.
I'm gonna podcast live until I get a job. No, I mean, we're still doing the podcast. This
Yeah.
is something just for fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be looking in pretty much all industries that like my skill set applies to. Not necessarily gonna stay pigeonholed in the same thing, or at least be open to not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, working in production, so like manufacturing and production.
Yeah.
It's just it pays well. In the valley here in California, it pays well, but you really are at the will of the product, of the line, of the broken down motor, conveyor, all that kind of stuff. So, um, I don't know. I think I want to go more people focused on the next one if possible. But yeah, no, it's just we've talked about depression, that kind of stuff. Like I'm not like that. It really sucks, but just one foot at a time going forward.
Well, not to say that this has anything to do with it, but it's just crazy because the stock market's like crashing right now.
Yeah, man. Watching Asthma and Gold earlier today while I'm browsing for jobs, and somebody on Reddit said something about Daddy Trump is purposely tanking the market. Then he's gonna put it all into Trump coin,
Uh-huh.
and then after he's not president anymore, he's basically gonna say, "Hey, if you throw me in jail, I can tank the economy by messing up the Trump coin."
Yeah.
Thought
Well,
that was funny.
I saw that. So Trump's basically trying to put us in a recession so he can lower the interest rates, force them to have to lower the interest rates.
Yeah.
I seen that. I was like, you know, I
I mean,
guess.
it is happening though. The
I
interest
mean,
rates are getting
it,
lower.
it is
So,
true. So there is kind of truth to that. It's a good time to buy.
well, not when you don't have a job.
Well, you can borrow, Sean.
Hey man, can I borrow some money? um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's with how politics are. It doesn't matter which way you go. I mean, it's basically everybody's in the power grab, and now that evil Trump has it, whether you like him or not, it's just so volatile. I don't know what it was like 30 years ago, where maybe it wasn't as polarizing.
Yeah.
I think without social media and that kind of shit, it probably really wasn't. But nowadays, it's just like, every time you turn around, you got somebody sucker punching you from the back, either financially or socially, or.
Well, it's horrible, man. Because like your situation, that's terrible. Like I can't. If that ever happened to me, like, dude, I don't know. I'm surprised you're doing so well. Like,
Maybe it hasn't hit yet. No, I mean it. Well, so the real story is, before I got the call, I'm gonna leave names out again, but
yeah.
somebody said, "Hey, I just got fired." I'm like, "What? On your day off? Like, how is that even a thing?" Then they said, "Well, I kept on ignoring a Teams call. He's like sleeping or whatever, ignoring a Teams call, and it was named something weird." I'm like, "What was it named?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, I'm like, "Oh, huh, that's weird." So while he's talking, I go and look at my Teams calendar on my day off. Oh shit, I got a call. Touch base. Let's touch base. And that's probably all I can say on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I sit here doom and gloom,
Yeah.
you know, I need to have some positivity.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like a weight's lifted. As bad as that is to say, I was putting a lot into this position,
Yeah.
and people, right? Like, I was trying to really make connections. I mean, you've seen me in the past. Like, I'm literally trying to talk to like everybody, right? And yeah, no, it's all gone. I know there's going to be a few people for sure bummed, and maybe others it's just business as usual. But yeah, I was really trying to make a change there, because you work in a manufacturing environment, and you have this department, you have this department, you have this department. None of them talk well to each other. But
Yeah.
trying to get everybody to hold hands, that's really what I try to do. Maybe not always successful, but that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
And I was really actually starting to get some traction there too. So it really sucks.
Well, it's terrible. Like my grandpa, when he was growing up, he was out of high school till he died. He started as a floor sweeper for the post factory cereal factory, and then he ended up being the maintenance manager when he died. And then when he died, they put like a plaque out by the flag and his name. It was pretty awesome what they did for him. But now it's like so different. Now like you're lucky if they know who you are. And it's back then like you felt like they always say like I'm just a number, like back then you weren't just a number, you were like a
Right.
hard post, like
Right. So
you know.
with the information this company gave me,
Uh-huh.
one of the services or whatever is basically like help you find a job. And so I go to this, I click the link and I go fill out the thing, put all my information. Then it asks me for the employee ID. And that's really all you are. I mean, you might make connections with different people there that actually try to not just be business 100%, and those people are very just strict, straightforward, hard to talk to maybe sometimes. But Yeah, man. Just the employee ID. You know, I can't say this last one, but the one before 211463. Hey, that's who I was, right? But yeah, no, it's. I mean, you're definitely just a number, and no matter how, and I'm not saying this in like a negative way,
Yeah.
but no matter how amazing you think you are, doesn't matter if the next person is better or worse than you. You're replaceable, 100%.
Well, and it's like they always say, it's not what you know, it's who you know too. You know, that's really true. Like,
Yeah,
really true, dude.
yeah. No, networking to get really anything, but networking for jobs. I don't know real numbers, but I would think that you're 90% more likely to get a job with people that you know than not, right? Like
Exactly.
you're lucky if your resume gets past the, nowadays it's like based off of algorithm or like keywords basically. So if you don't have, even if you're doing the same job that you're applying for, if you
Mhm.
don't have on your resume the right set of words
Mhm.
and it doesn't see that, you're out. Like
Yeah.
before a human can even see it, which is sure maybe time saving, but think of all the people that they're missing out on, So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because I've definitely noticed ever since you left the company I'm at now, and now the new company that you were at, a change in your spirit.
Oh, thought you were gonna tell me how the old place is crumbling. Um,
Oh, we're doing great.
yeah, no, it's just skyrocketing ever since I left.
Ever since you left, this is shooting up.
No, I don't know. I don't wish anybody ill will,
Yeah.
but since I did leave that last place, I have seen a lot of people leave too,
Hmm.
and that same pressure, that same top-down approach, pressing down from upper management down to the peons to basically get the job done. That's what I started to notice here at this last place, like the last 2 months,
Hmm.
especially because like a month and a half ago, we were basically solid red for like a month. And, I didn't know if that was like normal off and on yet. I'm still trying to figure out the place,
Yeah.
but I knew it was pretty bad. And like, it's not just bad. We're not making inventory for potential sales. It's like, we're missing sales now, kind of a thing. So,
Mm.
um,
Well, and I saw this thing where if you stay at the same job your whole life, like you'll make like 20 to 30% less than what you could have made by like they say like don't ever stay at a job longer than like
well
a few
now,
years.
yeah,
Dude, there's a lot of truth to that. Like this
yeah,
job I have right now is the longest job I've ever had. I've been there for almost 5 years now. Longest job I've ever had.
they still haven't found you yet, huh?
Hey, I'm just a number, right? But I mean, there's truth to that.
For anybody that's listening that works there, if you go back behind the boiler room, to the right, bam, right there he is.
Oh, I'm getting fired now.
Just don't turn off the PLC computer on accident.
Yeah. But there's truth to that, like not staying at the same job, because always like kind of challenging
Yeah,
yourself.
no, for sure.
type
I
thing.
mean, you know, if you can stay at a company your whole life and they actually treat you well, real competitive salary, not, competitive quote unquote salary,
Mhm.
and then change your title so it's a lesser title but still same job duties, competitive quote unquote. Like there's so many things that companies do just to protect their ass, and it's really unfortunate because if you actually treat people right, which you do have to weed out the bad eggs, but if you actually treat people right that do a good job, like they'll stay there and kill it. You give them some respect, some whatever. Each person's a little different, right? But whatever they need, however you need to nurture them and just pay them, they might actually stay there, and you might make a lot more money than just turnover, turnover, turnover.
Yeah. Well, thankfully the company I'm at takes good care of me, but yeah, like a lot of like getting comfortable is. I think a lot of people get comfortable and safe, and they don't want to leave. Like, I see that a lot. Like they don't know, like it's just like taking that risk to go somewhere else, challenging themselves, pushing themselves.
I mean, it's scary.
It is
If
scary,
you have a job that it's almost impossible for you to get fired,
especially if you're in a union.
yeah. Um, taking that leap to the next thing is definitely, you have no idea. And, especially if you're single, like, what do you do? If it doesn't work out, I'm married, and, not an infinite cushion, but there's support, right? So I was able to take that leap, and I actually knew going into it for different reasons. It could have been risky, which I think you probably know some of why that is, but on top of normal reasons. But I still took it because if it did work out, um, and not have a mass layoff, I would have never thought of a mass layoff. But if it did work out, it was a good position, a good growth role, a good all around, step up. But yeah, you mentioned the wages that you miss out on if you're not
Mm-hmm.
basically job jumping, hopping,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, so every 2 years, if you're not, and maybe the numbers have changed since I last seen them, but every 2 years, if you're not getting a new job, um, you're basically missing out on a 20% salary bump. So if
Yeah.
you, it could even be a lateral, right? But you're going somewhere else, and now you're an experienced whatever you are, right? So they see that, and you're worth a little bit more. How hard is it to go to your boss's boss and or whoever it is and be like, hey, I've been here this long. I really think I need a 15-20% raise. They would laugh you right out the door and say, nice try.
Mm-hmm.
You might get the back and forth for a long time and finally get like a 2 or 3 or 5 if you're lucky or whatever, but like a 15-20%, good luck.
So do you think overperformers get um, benefit from that? Like, like the guys who think like, say me and you, we work 8 hours every day, but you work way harder, but we make the same pay. And
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
do you think there's a benefit to that, or like?
well, there's a meme, the harder you work, the more work you get.
Mm-hmm.
you know um
Yeah.
you and I eventually we took a turn for like where or how we were working at that company, and you definitely had mental, but physical as well. And I had a lot more mental or admin with some physical, um, but I also had a scope creep and tried to work with a lot of other people just outside of my job, but trying to, in my mind, do the right thing by just getting everything taken care of, right?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, when that is seen, that does get you noticed. That does give you the attaboys, and oh well, if you could do that, here's this project that we really need somebody to work on. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was definitely getting that stuff, and I enjoyed it when there was recognition and I had visibility and some say in what was happening. But when at one point it took a turn where somebody at a higher level started saying things that necessarily wasn't true. Then it got other people to see things differently. So it went quickly for me at that place, and which is a big reason why I left. It went from, hey, Sean's the guy that's going to go get him and go knock these things out and take care of business. And I mean, I was executing. Maybe not everything was perfect, especially with certain departments, but eventually just turned into they didn't like trust or respect me at all, and I can't work at a place like that. So that's why I left.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back to your thing. The more you do, the more you get to do.
Mm.
You stay within your job scope to a T. You're going to be seen as that person that's tried and true, that's dependable, all that stuff. They may even ask for OT or whatever, but if you really just stick to the job, then that's all you'll get. And maybe you answer this.
Mm-hmm.
The stress level when you do that, I'm sure, is a lot lower because you don't have to worry about all kinds of random stuff. I mean, you still have your job and
Mm-hmm.
downtime and all this stuff to worry about, and
Mm-hmm.
who's to blame for what went wrong here and there, because you got to make sure that's right, or else somebody's going to get their ass chewed. But
Yeah.
at least from what I saw, I didn't see a lot of scope creep from people like in your department. Maybe you can elaborate.
Well, it's different because in my field, I'm working as a team. So we either rise together or we fall together. So it's like, I mean, obviously you as an individual could screw up, but most of the time you're not attacking something, a problem by yourself. So it's not like with in your scenario of what you're trying to, the career path you're taking is the pressure's on you.
Mm.
All eyes are on you. So that's the difference. And you know, it's just a different job basically. But I like it because you know the pressure. It's not that I don't like the pressure or like everything being on me. It's just it's nice and it's all like they always say like two eyes are better than one. It's true. Like no matter how much you know, no matter how experienced you are, especially in like my field of being a electrician and maintenance, there's always something someone else is gonna see different than you.
For anybody that does electrical work, take pictures before you take everything apart. Take pictures, take pictures, take pictures.
Yeah, Sean learned this the hard way.
I can't tell you how invaluable that is until you screw up and then you don't know which one goes where.
See, my experience has been different than yours because like I've just I feel like I've been well taken care of, treated well, and yeah, I mean I haven't had any issues, but you went down a different path, so it's like a you know different thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely took on, I'm not saying you haven't taken on responsibility, but I've definitely taken on more and more responsibility pretty much as they can feed it to me. And it's basically, you know, high stakes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean
that's kind of,
that's kind of you know any factory, any place you go, being in management, that's kind of like the name of the game.
yeah.
So,
But at the same time, I mean, you know, just because I'm not there anymore doesn't mean that a lot of the stuff that happened, whether positive or negative, because I actually reflect a lot on negative things that happened there. But, you know, I learned a lot. And when you put yourself in the high stress, the high capacity, you know, the really demanding stuff, you know, I definitely learned a lot from that. Definitely kind of miss the, you know, plug in the wires and see if the motor goes backwards or not.
yeah, a
Oh,
lot of
man.
testing. A lot of testing.
Trial and error, and you have the extra part sometimes, you know, when you install it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
So you said so you left that company that
Katera.
yeah.
Mhm.
Any other like layoff or firing out of nowhere or anything like that?
No, I've been pretty fortunate, but then again, I've never.
Sounds like you're not risky enough.
It's not that I think I've been fortunate, but also I've never stayed at a job longer than 2 years.
Yeah, and I
And
mean,
then luckily, thank God, the job I'm at now, they pretty much dominate the market, so it's not going nowhere. Like unless something crazy. I mean, I'm not saying anything can happen. Life can happen. I mean, I could get laid off tomorrow. Who knows? But I think my company itself, they're not going nowhere because that's the beauty of, you know.
yeah, we could really get into the types of products that company makes and other similar companies, like different quality of product. So, you know, some do pretty good for a lower quality but higher, or not higher volume, but a high volume. As in the, you know, what you're at. You know, they make some of the cleanest product in the world,
Yeah.
to the point where, you know, we have meetings where it's too damn clean. We need to stop sorting so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I you know, so I guess let's go through some of my history. Let the audience know how much of a degenerate I was back in the day. So one of the fire-ins I had, I was about 20, and I shaved the sides of my hair to where I just had like a long mohawk. So it kind of looked like a skinhead, like mohawk, like
Yeah.
legit. And one of the supervisors came and they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna need to not have that." I'm like, "What are you talking about? This other girl over here has, you know, colored hair that's not that's not allowed in the policy
Mm.
or whatever. But you're saying that I gotta like shave my hair. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna shave my hair.
Yeah.
And then here you go. Here's your get the hell out of here
Yeah.
ticket. And another one, just partied a lot back in the day and just wasn't showing up. And the boss is like, "Hey man, like, how come you're not here?" I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sick." He
Mm.
knows, you know, and yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely job hopped throughout my time. Learned a lot, from each place, and I have a pretty eclectic history of jobs. But yeah, yeah. No, here
How
we
many
are.
jobs have you had?
Oh man.
I'm trying to think if I may had.
If I were to just guess offhand without thinking of every single one, probably 10, 10 to maybe 15, something like that.
I think I've had 7.
And I'm 35, graduated '07,
So you've had 10 to 15, and you're 35.
something like that. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, probably closer to 10. Because there's a little bit of gap here or there, kind of a thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I've had 7.
You know, this whole, I don't know your upbringing, but I feel like our generation, we grew up and parents, school, you do whatever you put your mind to and,
Mm.
you'll be successful, this and that. And, I went through high school, goofed off, barely graduated. They had to basically threaten to kick me off the, I played golf and I made varsity sophomore year,
Mm.
and I really liked it and I was good at it, but I was a class clown, right? So they basically said, yeah, if you don't, I think I got like a 1.7 quarter or something, 1 quarter, and they're like, yeah, if you don't do something, like, you can't play golf anymore. So I went from like, I still goofed off, but I at least turned in my homework, that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And I actually tried basically, and I got like a 3.4, 3.5. And,
Mm.
went to college, was going to do game design. And then I just really didn't like the teachers. And I thought that was a reason to quit for some reason back in the
Mm.
day. And then I really found women and partying, and that was just over from there. And, yeah, no, so yeah, they say, for our generation, you go get the college degree, and, I wound up not getting the college degree, but as we can see nowadays, people with college degrees are even, having a hard time, or maybe not all of them, but
Mm.
a good amount, to where it seems like it's a problem.
Mm.
Um, anyways, with the timeline for me graduating high school, it seemed like there's always something wrong with the economy or wrong with something, to where it was just hard to like keep a job, honestly, on top of me being a knucklehead. But it always seemed really challenging.
Do you think it's the type of jobs you were going after?
I mean, I feel like being just a young male in general, like, companies generally don't trust a young male, probably for good reason, to be honest.
Mm.
That shouldn't be a black and white statement, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I can see why they don't for some. But you know, without finishing college, I didn't really have like a real direction, so I just kind of whatever seemed cool, or whatever I can get, kind of a thing. Hopped around a lot. And I don't know, it just always seemed like the economy was just shitty, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when I was like really needing it to work out. It just always seemed like it was shitty. Yeah, and here we are. The economy is going crazy. Maybe the youngins that are growing up nowadays are gonna say the same exact thing. Maybe this happens, for
Yeah.
everybody. Who
Yeah.
knows? From what I hear, those boomers had it good though. You pay for a house with like a banana and a $20 bill, and you
Yeah.
get the house. The sides are bigger.
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, so this is we're gonna try to release a podcast every Friday.
We're still figuring that out. Depending on how many we can record in a week, which we'd love to talk about so many different types of topics, from consciousness to getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about everything. We try to keep it respectful, but
Yeah.
challenging. And, we're going to, I think, try to aim for a video every other day eventually, if not very soon. This is going to be in podcast format. So, feel free to just turn it on and listen. But we're going to do our best to give you stuff to look at too, other than our beautiful faces.
Yeah. Try to give us a like, comment, let us know how we're doing. And like I said, Sean is looking for a job.
Yeah, no, I mean, for when it comes down to the comments, this episode, we're talking about a lot of very, important things when it comes to basically everybody can relate to this. So, tell us your story. What happened to you? When did that rug get pulled out from under your feet, or have you just been a knucklehead like me for a good portion of your career?
Yeah.
But yeah, catch you guys later.
All right. Thank you.